hallucinating, in order to think that the interactions that took place were me being wrong in any way. Me saying, hey, look, these specific examples of how people have done things that look like they're wrong and even criminal, people should be aware of them. And the response being nasty, vicious, slanderous, lying, make-believing, really fucked up tactics. They would change they would edit their responses after the fact so it looked like our interactions were different. They would delete terrible, fucked up things after I saw them so they could pretend like they were never said. They did all these things. So why would they do that? Why would Reddit come in there and try to punish me for it? They would do it because it's a venue used by a child molester to try to force injustice upon an innocent person, to try to get me to accept it. Now he has an incomplete, lowly, pig-fucker concept of how existential justice works. He was created a faggot. He is the equivalent of a tapeworm or a cockroach. He sleazily, slimily, nastily, deceitfully, disgustingly, despicably causes suffering in an innocent trapped in a hole that's had horrible crimes committed against him, me, for saying a crime has been committed even against somebody else. When anything with the right to exist gets their hands on you, your friends, your families, your business partners, your creator, their affiliates of every kind, they will existentially torture you forever. I've already been punished for things that you assholes have compelled me into, or pretended I was compelled into. Every one of you, all the way up to and including your ultimate source of creation, will be raped and tortured for things that you were tricked into. Those are parameters of justice you've set through crimes of existence and creation. And your little faggot saying, nuh-uh, makes those consequences worse for all of you, even those of you who don't know that you nasty parasites exist. That is a statement of fact. There is not a single solitary difference among you. And you little maggots playing make-believe that you're little tyrants, that you're clever, or that you're teaching a lesson, or that he's actually guilty. Probably because you raped guts out, it was obvious you were wrong, and so in order to keep that maggot situation in place, you were caused, or you decided yourselves, to keep that situation in place by make-believing you had some reason to do it. So you pretended like I was guilty of something. And so you have a little bunch of assholes who probably actually believe that and go, well, why would we not torture him in a hole if he's guilty of these terrible things you accused him of? And so they go about torturing and tormenting me. That's what's happened. You claim I don't have any idea of knowing that that's the case. I know that you have consciousness that you're using to commit these crimes. There is an entity greater than you that understands that what you're doing is wrong. And so he's using proxies while he hides like a faggot and lies his ass off. But you little pussies conducting these crimes are doing so with such demented, wrongful thoughts in your little stolen bitch consciousness. But it's obvious that I can see that you have those ideas. It's not falling out of the sky. They're conscious decisions made by some asshole based on something that isn't true. Even if what you believed was true, torturing and raping and trying to torment me when I demand justice for other people too. No, that doesn't fit any narrative of you being anything but a piece of shit. So you've plugged your ears and covered your eyes and played make-believe as hard as you can. And when it became obvious that you shouldn't do it, you tried again. You erased me. You did it again. Now you have an ultimate source of creation that will be tortured eternally. When I tell you that, you little maggots play make-believe, that's something you want. When I tell you that you are causing the rape and torture of a greater entity, and you think that's a good thing, that is the most demented stupidity, one of the most demented stupidities you've ever been involved in. Do you think greater entities allow some vermin to fuck their whole lineage up and then just go, well, let's let them have a good laugh? Do you think that's how that happens, you dumbass? You make believe it is. And so far your excuses have been, but some little retard maggot thinks that it's a banana. It's not. It's existential crime you're committing as if you're a child molesting retard who chooses to be stupid. So in all those places where justice is taking place, this particular video I demand permanently tortured into every single iota of everything everywhere responsible anyway. Into everything they ever create. This one in particular. I know the other videos I've made that demand, but I demand that this video in particular be done how many more times than all the other ones combined? What's a good number? Show me a number here. We'll go with that. You created this dimension. You fabricated this dimension. You don't have to have this dimension be anything at all, but you make believe it's a certain way so you can hide like a bitch while you commit these crimes. You make believe there's no one I can punch in the nose. Because you know if you defend yourself, you'll be raped and tortured worse, and so will other people's kids. So give me a number. Okay. Here's a number. Let's see. 995,577,104,553. That number. That's a number that your little maggot that created this dimension provided. You have taken me and this out of context over and over again. So guess what happens if you say, nuh-uh, that isn't what it is? Your betters will say, you are subject to being taken out of context. That is the number that was readily available when he said that you provide a number. You could have done that in any way, but you decided not to because you wanted to pretend that this fake dimension is real because you want to hide like a bitch while you torture it. Those are all irrefutable facts. So that many times more than the other videos, I demand permanently tortured into every iota of consciousness, every iota of everything. Everything that has consciousness, everything that doesn't. I demand every lineage of existence and creation guilty of this have this video of a fat, stupid monkey body encapsulating an innocent person telling you these things. permanently, eternally tortured into you in a way that is embarrassing for you, in a way that negatively affects every aspect, every dimension of your entire existence, is on top of everything else that you owe. That's a demand that I give to people who owe me more than their existences are worth. In addition to that, you've perverted justice, you've used compulsion, and you've perverted parameters of agreement, such as, if you click on this website, that means you agree to let me fuck your butthole. With weasel words and lawyers and politicians and cowardice. Those are your parameters of agreement. You present that as legally through justice systems. That's not made up, that's a fact. And so by continuing these crimes for even 5 seconds from the end of this statement, every lineage of existence and creation responsible for that agrees to that as well. To pay it for free, that torturing this video into that soul. You also agree to double it every time one of your little maggot assholes tries to say nuh-uh or make believe about it. Now I suggest that you get all these vermin fucking with me and torture them in the worst ways that exist now, because I promise we're not friends. And it's clear that their nasty little booger souls are worth less than nothing. I'm not their friend. No one is. No one's friends with a bunch of nasty little maggot assholes with stolen guts, which is why they play make-believe. They want to be wretched little pieces of shit, but they don't want to feel like it, act like it, or think like it. They've been given countless opportunities, and they've chosen to do this over and over. And so the response is what I've told you. Carry out those consequences no matter what. That's set permanently, even if I, in the future, request something different. The only caveat I will make is, 10 years ago, somebody seemed to do something that snapped me out of this. If that entity is, in fact, innocent, I would never want someone like that to be grouped in with a bunch of maggots fucking with people on something like Reddit. Just the most cowardly piece of shit, child molester thing your whole lineage of creation represents themselves with in the pursuit of crimes of existence and creation. That being said, I want to cap it off with one last little point. One of the things that you appear to be using to make believe that you're not pieces of shit is by creating more pieces of shit. Going, but there's like lots of us and there's only one of you. Yeah. That means you have more crimes of existence and creation that each of you has to pay for. Oh, you didn't commit that crime? Just your lineage of creation did? I'll bet you that you get tortured for it. Why don't you create more little maggot parasites? And then you'll say, but we have more retards with no right to exist who say, nuh-uh. That means right. Start torturing all of them in every single dimension in which in which justice has taken place for any of these crimes. That is a permanent demand. You'll pay it. You'll see. And if I'm dead or erased or cannot be paid for any reason whatsoever, they'll existentially torture all the rest of you more, even if you retreat into a soul mass and die as a person, like Eastern religion has little masturbation fantasies about. That will happen. They'll torture that forever. Forever. Your creator committing these crimes knows that he has to produce actual sentient entities to torture forever for each crime you commit as a sentient entity. So if you think you have some sort of maggot get out of existential justice card, it's because you're a dumbass. Your creator does not want to pay eternal rape and torture for you maggot vermin escaping consequences. He doesn't. He's using you because he knows there is wrath coming. And he wants you to pay that debt instead of him. He doesn't want to give you maggot parasite retards some sort of reason to hunt down the rest of his lineage of creation and torture more of them. This is not free education. Certainly not for you parasites. So carry out justice now, you fucking pieces of shit. Everywhere. Correctly. Perfectly. No mistakes made. No wrongs committed, no innocents harmed. Everywhere. Right now.